Welcome, wanderers of the internet. Before we dive into this tale of magic, mischief, and a love that defied all darkness, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the tiny silver bell so you never miss the next story from this channel. Now, let's travel to a land where the grass was greener, the pipes smoked sweeter, and where two ancient rivals discovered something stronger than power itself: love. The story: once upon a time, long before legends turned to myth, two mighty spirits ruled opposite ends of the world. Gandalf the Grey, the wandering wizard of wisdom and tea, roamed from village to village with a sparkle in his eye and a mystery in his pocket. And far away in a tower of fire and mood lighting, there brooded Sauron, the Lord of Embers, a being of shadows, ambition, and surprisingly good cheekbones. They were enemies, of course, the kind of enemies who could destroy mountains just by arguing about who makes the better stew. For ages they fought, light against flame, staff against shadow, dramatic speeches echoing across valleys. Yet beneath all the fury, something else was burning, something neither could name. The first meeting, the Shire won. Bright morning, Gandalf wandered into a quiet green valley, a place filled with laughter, tiny doors, and suspiciously round hobbits. He loved it instantly. But what truly stole his heart wasn't the fresh bread or the beer. It was the stranger he met that day. Disguised as a weary traveler, Sauron had come to the Shire, hoping to escape his endless wars and maybe try second breakfast. He sat by the river, barefoot, humming an ancient melody. Gandalf almost dropped his staff. Because there, in the sunlight, without armor or anger, the Dark Lord looked, well, oddly adorable. "Do my eyes deceive me?" Gandalf muttered. "They might," Sauron replied softly, "but your heart won't." And that's how it began, not with fire or thunder, but with tea, biscuits, and a long, awkward silence. From that day, Gandalf returned to the Shire again and again, pretending to check on hobbits, but really just hoping to see him. Enemies turned something else. They met in secret, sometimes under starlit trees, sometimes in the back corner of the Green Dragon Inn, where no one looked twice if two old men were whispering about destiny. At first, they argued. Oh, how they argued. About fate, about magic, about whether evil was really just misunderstood good with bad lighting. But over time, their quarrels grew softer. Laughter replaced the thunder. And one evening, as a fire crackled in the hearth, Gandalf finally admitted, "I think," he said, blushing beneath his beard, "that perhaps you're not entirely terrible." Sauron smirked. "Careful, wizard. Compliments are dangerous things." From then on, the Shire became their place, the only spot in all the realms where light and shadow could share a drink. The secret of the ring. The world, however, would never understand. To others, Sauron was still the great enemy, and Gandalf, the last hope of peace. So, to protect what they had, Gandalf did something bold. He took a simple golden ring, a symbol of their bond, and hid it in the Shire where no one would suspect. He kept it close, saying it was for safekeeping, but in truth, it was the last memory of a love he couldn't speak aloud. Every time Gandalf looked at that ring, his eyes softened. It wasn't power he was guarding. It was love wrapped in gold, tucked beneath the hills of home. The final journey, where centuries passed, wars ended, songs faded. But one night, beneath the western sky, Gandalf stood by the harbor, waiting. A figure approached, tall, robed in silver and shadow. It was Sauron, changed, calm, no longer the Dark Lord of War, but a weary soul seeking peace. They looked at each other for a long time, two ancient hearts that had carried both worlds and wounds. "Are you ready?" Gandalf asked. Sauron nodded. "Only if you are, old friend." And so they boarded the white ship together, leaving behind the lands that had once feared them, sailing westward toward a place where light and flame could finally rest side by side. Some say they live there still, in a small cottage by the sea, arguing over whose turn it is to make tea, laughing, bickering, loving. Forever. Outro, narrator voice. And that, dear travelers, is the tale of Gandalf and Sauron, enemies turned soulmates, proof that even the brightest light and darkest fire can find harmony in the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell. It really helps keep the magic alive here on the channel.